So this is a follow-up video from my previous video, the stage 2 remapping on the car. It's been remapped for about 3 weeks, and I have increased throttle response, which is great, and more horsepower. But today I'll be changing my intercooler hoses in preparation for the next upgrade, which will be changing the intercooler system and possibly the turbo. Not too sure about that yet. Whilst I change my intercooler hoses, which are down here, I'll be talking about my general approach towards the goal of a real stage 2 with a DPF, so with the diesel particle filter, as I've had a few questions and comments about why I don't just take the filter off. I'm going to take the cover off for the fan, the engine cover and the air intake out. Going back to what I talked about before about the comments on the previous video about, oh, why don't you just take the DPF off? So in Denmark there are rules about, there's low emission zones, and I live in the low emission zone. So I cannot just take my filter off, I would like to keep it on. So that means that the stage 2 remapping I have to do has to correspond with the Danish emission laws. So it's finding a fine line between how do we remap and get to the stage 2 that I would like with the DPF on. I've done a few modifications to the car. I've only changed the exhaust. So there's a sports exhaust on and my filter's on. And I cannot remove that, as I just said. So that will act as a bit of a muffler like I mentioned in the previous video. Oops. I'm stuck. And I have adjusted the turbo by 0.5 bar, which is approximately 7 psi. And those are the only modifications I've done to this car, other than remapping it a few weeks ago, and that's it. Right, the air intake, like that, and then this looks a bit bigger, shall we see? It's fine. And take this one off here, and that just came out as well. Right, so intercooler hoses. There's one section here, this U pipe bend, and we've got this one here that goes down here, so in there and over there, and then we've got one part that goes here. Should simply just come off, but we know they never do because it's the Defender. Yeah, so I'm gonna start by loosening them and taking them off one by one. So there's been a bit of confusion about the definition of tuning stages. And rather than looking at tuning stages based on mechanical changes, i.e. upgraded exhaust with a better airflow or upgraded intercooler with less flow restrictions and better cooling capacity, we view the stages as performance brackets, i.e. stage 1, 150 to 165 horsepower. Stage 2, 175 to 185 horsepower. And then you've got the stage 2 plus, which is 195 to 205. And then stage 3 is 210 and upwards. In my case, I reckon with a standard intercooler and turbo we can reach a stage 2 performance level with the modifications I've made with the DPF. The first hose is off, and as you can see it's really soft. So when the air comes from the turbo, as the hose is so soft, it will expand, and by the hose expanding it will decrease, or the pressure will drop, making the performance drop as well. So when I change the hose is firmer, and it will stop the hose from expanding and dropping the pressure and performance, basically. Taking the next part of the hose off. That is loose, like so. I'm just going to put this up here. This is my creation today. Let's see if this works. It should do. Yeah, perfect. If I wiggle this, there. That was lucky. I just managed to get it. Right, and another soft hose is off. Now over for the last one. And I had a look at this earlier, and I know it's going to give me a lot of problems because it might be hard to see. A hose clamp will be really hard to get because the bolt, or the head of it, is turned down, or almost is at a really awkward angle. So it's hard to get a top over it, and it's hard to get a screwdriver down there as well because it's so far down. But we'll have to get it off some way. We might be able to cut it. We'll see. We'll figure something out. The hose clamp is facing here, down there. So it's really hard to get a screwdriver in as it's a wrong angle, and I can't get a top, and it's sort of squint. So I'm going to make a chisel out of this old screwdriver. I'm going to sharpen it and then see if I can hammer it and split it in half. That's my plan so far. We'll see if it works. The bit over the top might work. Right, so we'll go straight on. So the plan worked, and it's loose down here. I want to get a set of pliers to fish it out so it doesn't get caught. I don't think it'll come off with the hose. Jeepers. No, these have been on forever, so they're really old. I've got a few wires down here that have been cable tied onto the hose, so I'll just have to clip that up. There we go. That won't go anywhere. Right, what we're doing here. Pull this one up. Oh, that's the top hose clamp. And the bottom is just, I can see it. I might actually get it on my hand. There we go. That's had a bit, it looks like it's been chewed, but it's just from the screwdriver that split it. So, now we've removed all of the old intercooler hoses. I'm stuck. We're going to remove, or not remove, I'm going to put on the new ones. And they're from, still stuck, There we go. I've got these ones here from Terra Firma, but actually from our local dealership part shop, 4x4 shop, which are great. They always send us parts. And these are the new hoses. And bright blue, so you can see them. I didn't choose the colour. Horrible, I'm sorry, but I preferred if they were black. As you can see on this one, this is one we just took off over here. It's wider, bigger in this end, so just remember that before trying to fit the smaller end up on the bigger end. So these are the pipes, the hoses, not pipes, sorry. And if we do a side-by-side comparison, put my gloves on, because these are covered. See that? The old ones are extremely soft, and this is a lot firmer. The oil goes and eats away at the rubber. This is rubber and this is silicone. Should last a lot longer, hopefully, we'll see. But as you can see, these are really soft compared to these ones. They're nice and hard and firm. So this should last a while, and we'll be able to see them in the car. So another performance restriction to remove is to blank the EGR, and I might do that when I change the intercooler. I'm not sure yet, but that is another step to enhance the vehicle, or the performance of the vehicle anyway. So that is in mind, don't worry, you don't have to comment it, I do know. So it will come one day, but I'm not sure when though. Because it was tricky to get, you want to ensure that you tighten it and hold it at the same time so it doesn't drop down and it's facing in towards the car. Just to make it easier for the next person or yourself next time when changing the intercooler hoses. Because that was not thought about in our situation. And I've just sprayed it a bit with silicone in here, just easier to slide on and off. First part, now we want to place the clamp where we want it. Now this hose clamp has to be going over both parts. Okay, so it's attached down here at the bottom with the clamp facing up, so it'll be easier to take off next time. And now I have to push it down. It's a bit tight. Ah, that's better. There we go. Okay, with a bit of force, I actually loosened this one down here a tiny bit because it was the new hose was over the other end a fair bit, so I have a bit of movement to get it up to sit correctly up here, so it's sat snug up here. I'm gonna hold it in place because it does move when you tighten it. Remember, you don't want them flying off because there'll be a bit more pressure. So, not too tight, but so it's firm. Like that. Alright, well done now, and I've dropped the top. Silicone spray, so it glides on easier. I'm just going to tighten these so they sit on the hose. I'll just make it easier putting them on so they just don't fly about, because it just keeps them in place. And that just slides on like that. I've just tightened it down here. Not too tight yet because I might have to adjust it when we put the other two parts on. So this one just slides in when that's in. And then tighten this one. Hold it in place while you tighten. So that's on. Now it's just for this part. Spray. Right. I think the easiest way is to come down and maybe up here first, like that, and then there. That's better. Now it's right up here, and it's well in here. Now we just tighten the last two hose clamps. We will be done. There. Now we just need to put the covers back on and put the air intake on, and then we're done. So we have 3 new intercooler hoses, one here, and one over here. And they're all blue, so they're easy to see and find. Right, okay, air intake on. And then we should soon be good to go. So this goes in here. That's there. This one's tight and it's on. So now we're one step closer to the final end result of our stage 2 remapping. Intercooler will be next. I don't know when, but it will come, for everyone telling me it's not a proper stage 2 without changing the intercooler. It's fine. It's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Rome wasn't built in one day. But we're one step closer again. There we go. That's better. In you go. That's on. And this one is broken, that just slides around. Finished! New intercooler hoses are in and should be really, I don't know, hopefully good. Jeepers, look what I found. Forgot my top. Uh-oh, oh, nothing happened, spotted that. So, thanks for watching. I hope I cleared some things up regarding the stage 2 intercooler video, stage 2 remapping video, and answered a few more questions and cleared everything up. So, thank you for watching, and see you soon, hopefully.